Okay, everybody, we're going to talk today about what a design brief is. In a nutshell, a design brief is simply nothing more than a way for you to organize your thoughts into a project model. Go ahead and click on that for me. It's described and defined as a way to define a problem that you're trying to solve. So, for example, if my house burned down, okay, and I needed to come up with a new floor plan for a new house, what you would do is you would prepare a design brief. If you were the ones that were trying to propose that you could build me a new house for the right price, you can use this design brief for a multitude of items, but specifically it's used to help define problems. As you're writing this down, it's characterized as a very concise document. What concise means is very brief, hence the word design brief. All right? But a brief is also defined as a document. Okay? So if I was asking you for a briefing, you'd actually be giving me a document that said everything in it that needed to be said. But this is described as something that's very short. It also identifies who the client is, it identifies who the designer is, and it identifies what the problem is, as well as the solution, or proposed solution. There are a number of things that you have to consider when you're preparing a design brief. Go ahead and click. I'd like to show you a table here. This is what it looks like in table format. And this is actually something that you are all going to put together for your next design, which happens to be a checkerboard. All right? I see some eyes go, ooh, that sounds interesting, right? Okay. As you can see here, it talks about for a locker organizer, the client, they make up a fake character, John Q. All right? But in the case, let's use the checkerboard as how we're going to do this. All right? The client for this particular design brief would be me, because what you're going to essentially do is design a checkerboard, all right, for my kids to make it an appealing checkerboard that they would want to play with. All right? My youngest doesn't know how to play checkers, so the better you can make it, the more likely he's going to, adopt a passion for playing checkers. That's my hope, at least, and I hope that's his as well. So the designer will be you and your partner for this particular project. The the problem statement would be, let's see, could anyone come up with a problem statement for this particular condition? Yeah, Tori.
It's hard for your son to play on a checkerboard with such small squares.
With such small squares, okay. That's good. Can somebody come up with another problem statement? Like a fake scenario as to why you would need to make this this checkerboard for me. Yeah.
It needs color, so you know which squares you have to play on.
Okay, so color coded, so it's easy to understand how to make moves. Jenna?
Your son's really bored and needs something to do.
Yeah, Christmas break is coming, and he's going to be really bored. He needs something to do for 2 weeks' time. Tori, go ahead. What's your other idea?
The other one broke.
The other one broke. Yeah, my checkerboard broke, and I need a new one. Arlie.
He needs instructions on the board.
What do you mean by that?
You lost the instructions, but you want a checkerboard with the instructions on it.
Oh, so it's written word for word on how to make moves and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, Adam.
Your other checkerboard was too bland and you wanted a spiffier one and more fancy.
I want to spice it up a little bit. Good. I like that. Any other potential problems? Those were all really very good, I thought. You could use every one of the ones that you mentioned would be good ones to put in on your actual design brief that you make for this project. Tyler.
Maybe the pieces were too small.
Yeah, maybe he was having a hard time getting his hands around it, or it was just little kids like big things, right? That's always an attractive thing for a big kid. Like my youngest loves Skylanders, so he likes these Skylander giants. Skylander was very basic, and in order to get more diversified, what better way to get little kids to buy an item than to just call it Skylander Giants? And of course, that's all he wants for Christmas. So, yes?
Lost a couple checker pieces.
Yeah, maybe I lost some pieces. I need to start. If I don't have a fresh set of pieces, I need something new. Yeah. Yes.
Maybe the other one's too old and like
They change some stuff on the newer version.
Yeah, or maybe the checkers are getting frayed or something like that because they're too old. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Now, once you know what the problem is, the next thing to do is talk about what is it that you're going to specifically design. And let me give you a hint here. It's not simply saying here that, well, I'm going to make him a new checkerboard. All right, you don't want to say that. You want to be fairly specific. I'm going to make X number of pieces for the board. I'm going to make a board that's exactly, well, I'll say 20 inches by 20 inches. Okay, so the more specific you can get in your design statement, the more likely I would go with you as the person I would hire to make the board. That's what this is. This is nothing more than a pitch, a sales pitch. All right? Constraints. I'd like you to write this down in your notebook because there's two types of constraints that we've talked about in this class. The first type of constraint is the one where you're on the inventor program itself and you're like, okay, I'm gonna click on constraint, and then I'm gonna click on mate, flush, insert, all those good things. Okay? There's another definition for constraint. A constraint is also something that gets in the way or makes it difficult for you to get something accomplished. What's going to get in the way of you getting the job done? All right? What's the biggest constraint for most people? What's something that gets in the way of most people accomplishing the mission? Yeah.
They don't have the right materials.
Okay, so lack of materials, that's a pretty good one. What else? Adam?
Not enough time.
Time is the biggest constraint. I will say that again. Time is the biggest constraint that will get in the way of you accomplishing the mission. Okay, so if you don't, that's what deadlines are. So if you say, or if I say I want this done by a certain time, or if another teacher of yours says that, what happens when you guys hear what a deadline is, what happens? What's your first reaction?
Get it done by then.
Well, yeah, I gotta get it done, but what else?
Panic.
Panic mode, right? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is important, obviously, if there's a deadline. Yeah.
If you're doing it like on the internet or something, then sometimes like internet access.
Yes, and we've had that problem a couple weeks ago on our own computers where we were having problems with our server. So yes, so dependability on technology is a definite one. What else?
Money.
Money, right? And that goes with time, doesn't it? Because time is what?
Money.
Time is money. That's true. The longer it takes to make something, the what?
The more money.
The more expensive it is to make it, usually, because you're paying for the manpower and the labor to get it done. Yeah,
Isn't there a song about time is money?
probably.
Time is money.
Probably more than one song about that. Okay, so there's some examples up here for this locker organizer saying, well, here we go, time frame, money, space, no flammable materials, easy to install. These are types of things that they're considering when making it. Okay? So in other words, when we apply this concept here to the checkerboard, you don't want to make such an elaborate design that it's going to take you a year to make. Because you could do that, but what's the problem?
No.
We don't have a year to do it, do we?
It's going to be an expensive
Right.
checkerboard.
That's right. Last one. Deliverables. A deliverable is what you, the designer, is responsible for submitting to me for a completed project. So in this case, these are decent ones. What I'm going to ask you to turn in for me for a deliverable for this project is a design brief. You're going to make this type of chart for me. And I'm also going to expect from you individual standard IDWs, or the drawings. One with the completed board with the pieces on it. But then you're also going to submit to me the board by itself. And then you're also going to submit for me each type of checker you make. Because how many different types of checkers are there when you play somebody?
Two.
Right.
Different
Yeah, one, you got
colors.
the red team or the black team, or however you customize this. It's your decision. Actually, it's mine, because I'm going to tell you what I want. But essentially, there's two different types. So 3 drawings and a design brief. Those are the deliverables for this assignment. Okay? Any questions about what a design brief is? Because you are going to recreate this now. Yes?
Well, I'm just confused on are we making it in Inventor and then printing out?
Yeah, you're gonna create this briefing, and then after I approve of the briefing that you make for me, I'm gonna turn you loose, and you're gonna create your own board. Okay, so yeah, you are going to use Inventor to make it. All right, other questions about the program or the assignment? Okay, nice job. So that's what a design brief is in a nutshell.